Hi there, my name is Tracy. This is the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel, and today I have for you an episode from my lit review series, and I am focused on two candles that are new to me from the Goose Creek men's collection, and that is Bourbon and Applewood. These are two fragrances that I have been eyeing pretty much since I started shopping at Goose Creek. I was put off by the fact that it's called men's collection, and honestly, I'm still a little bit worried these are going to be super cologne-y. I have not sniffed these yet. But then I was putting an order in. It was a buy 3 get 4 deal. I was only buying 5 candles, and I was like, you know what? Put them in the cart, get these two for the free price, and let's test them out. I'm going to start with Bourbon, because this is the one I think I'm most interested in. I love the jars. This reads kind of like, I don't know, a broken in leather or like a oak leaf that's broken down and got some rain on it. Very masculine, kind of woody feel to it. Very simple label with the men's collection label down here, or yeah, it's actually called men's collection. Black lid, which is glossy. Scent notes are Kentucky bourbon, oak barrel, and rustic spice. Oh, I'm so scared to sniff this. I'm afraid it's going to be too cologne-y. Oh. Oh my goodness, this smells just like bourbon. This makes me want to have a drink, y'all. Oh, that is phenomenal. Wow. Yeah, this smells like you opened up a bottle of bourbon and you are sitting in a distillery, and maybe you just did a tour and like the empty oak barrels are laying around, so you're getting that really like boozy, syrupy bourbon with the oak note, and you're about to sip out of a glass some of the bourbon that they make at the distillery. Man, this is a vibe. Oh, I love it. I've never been to a bourbon distillery. I have been to a whiskey distillery, multiple ones actually when I went to Ireland. Bourbon, I believe, is specific to Kentucky. I have not been there. I need to go there though, because that's where Goose Creek is, y'all. Their big warehouse, like in-person warehouse sale is coming up. I have dreams. I have dreams of going. And I could do a distillery tour while I'm there. And I bet it would smell just like this candle. Wow, this, what was I thinking? I camped on this. If you don't like booze, this is not for you, but I love it. White wax with medium ropey wicks. Y'all. Wow. Phenomenal. All right, Applewood. I'm realizing these are not the same label. I thought they were. But this has beautiful mountains on it. Same color and same scheme with the black lid, but not the same label. Same wax and same wicks, however. This is scent notes of crisp apple, northern cedar, and patchouli musk. Okay. Yeah, so if you have ever bought their patchouli leaves candle, it smells just like that with a little bit extra woodiness and a hint of apple. The apple brings to my nose, which is one of the reasons I don't always like apple, it almost registers so sharp that my mind is reading it as perfumey. And then how that's playing with the patchouli, which almost feels a bit cologne-y. I don't know if I'm going to like this on warm. I really was expecting more of like a legit applewood note, more of like a raw wood note with like a fresh, crisp apple note that's not so sharp on the register. Like the kind you buy to smoke meat with. I want it to smell like that. We will see. I'm afraid it's going to read too cologne-y / high-pitched for my nose, but it could be beautiful on warm. And there's only one way to find out, and that is for me to burn it. So I'm going to cut the video here and go take some notes, burn this for a few days, maybe a week, a few weeks, depends on what I got going on. And I will capture some burn footage for you, take note of any potential quality issues I'm seeing, and notes on how this thing evolves on warm. Really excited about bourbon. This would definitely be my number 1 on cold. This would definitely be my number 2, the Applewood. And that may change on warm. We'll see. I'll be right back to let you know. All right, y'all, I am back. I have spent time with both of these lovely candles. I love them both so much. I just want to sniff them both. I did go ahead and rank these for post-burn, but honestly, they're both so amazing. And burning both of these inspired me to also order the apple bourbon candle. And at the time when I ordered these, I thought about also tossing that one in the cart. But I was like, you know what? You don't need more candles to review. Just go with these two. They have similar labels. They're both part of the men's collection. One thing at a time. And now I kind of regret not getting apple bourbon. But apple bourbon did come out in that new like plain jar collection. It was like an afterthought along with blueberry cheesecake, ivory pumpkin, and what was the other one? Cinnamon something. So I probably will order it in the new jar and give it a try. There is an old label as well. I'll toss it up here in case you want to see what that looks like. So I'm going to get the apple bourbon as well because I really was inspired by both of these. Okay, I'm going to start then with my post-burn evaluation of my number 2, which is the Applewood. The best way that I can describe this is that it's sweet from the apple and it is woody from the cedar in here, and the patchouli is super light. I don't feel like it's like your typical like floral or witchy patchouli. To me, this smells more like an earthy patchouli. And patchouli can be a really difficult scent. People usually either love it or hate it. It can be really polarizing, but part of that problem is that it's very inconsistent in what it smells like. It's kind of like the scent, you know, white woods. What does that mean? Patchouli can be the same way. It can be powdery. It can smell like old hippie vibes. It can be witchy woman. It can be earthy. It can be a little bit smoky. This one is just a beautiful earthy patchouli. It's not my favorite. I tend to gravitate more towards witchy patchoulis, but I do think it's really nice. It reminds me quite a bit of the patchouli that's in like Halloween Night from the Peanuts collection, or the Halloween Party that came from the Vault release recently. It gives me that same patchouli vibe. But the difference is, and how this is distinguished from those other candles, is that this has a much stronger raw wood note from the cedar that's in here. It is, I would say, wood first, sweet from the apple second, and then warm from the patchouli third. And in general, I feel like the apple and the patchouli are pretty well blended, with the wood being really dominant. In terms of strength, not as strong as I was expecting given the cedar wood and the patchouli notes in here. It is more of a medium, almost leaning towards light in terms of strength. And I did find the throw to be a little bit elusive. So I felt like it was stronger further away and not quite as strong if I was sitting right next to the candle. I love it. It's been a clean burn so far. This is, I think, 3 or 4 burns in now. I'm not seeing any evidence of sooting. It's not burning too hot or too fast. I'm not seeing a lot of wick fallout or wick mushrooming. So far, it's been a stellar performer. I will add, however, that usually problems develop around the halfway point for both Goose Creek and Bath & Body Works candles. So it's possible there are things on the horizon with this candle. Just keep that in mind. I am not promising the rest of the burn will look like this. It could turn into a soot bomb in the second half. That's rare. Normally it's more likely to dud out in the second half than it is to be sooty, but that's always a possibility. Now this one, bourbon, y'all, if you drink bourbon, and not the cheap stuff, it doesn't even have to be top shelf, but just not the cheap stuff. Cheap stuff can smell like lighter fluid. It's gross, okay? You go more mid-level or like top shelf bourbon and you really get that just beautiful, sweet, complex, a little bit oaky. It's gorgeous. Syrupy. That's what this candle is. It smells straight up like a really good bourbon. I feel like I am drinking, you know, a little lowball with a little bit in the bottom and I'm swirling it around and I'm about to take a swish out of a glass. It is that authentic and that legitimate. So it is boozy in the sense that it feels almost like I'm sniffing liquor right out of the glass, but it's also sweet. I feel like the oak note in here is beautiful. It doesn't come through as artificial or like too woody. It's not too earthy. Instead, it actually feels like the bourbon has been oak aged, which is normal, and it adds this complexity to the sweetness of the bourbon. I feel like it's a bit dry for that reason. Pair that with the spice note that's in here, which the rustic spice ends up coming across on warm. Not as much on cold, but on warm, it comes across a bit as a spicy hot cinnamon. Personally, I like that, but I know some of y'all do not like spicy hot cinnamon. So if that is off-putting, just know that it's not the dominant scent here. The dominant scent here is definitely the bourbon and then the oak, I think, and then the spice. But if you don't like spicy hot, you might not enjoy this. And I can say for sure, if you don't like boozy candles, you will not like this one because it straight up smells like bourbon. I personally like booze. I don't drink as much as I used to because y'all, aging, you know, the liver gets angry. Alcoholism runs in my family, so I've always been very paranoid about drinking too much. I do like bourbon, however. I have drank good bourbon, and I think this is absolutely on par with some of the best bourbons I've drank in terms of scent and authenticity. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this scent. I was afraid it was going to be cologne-y because it's a part of the men's collection. It is not. And like the Applewood, it has been a very clean, stellar burn so far. I'm not seeing any red flags that make me think this one's going to be a problematic vessel. Again, we will see. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about these two candles. If you have burned them and have any experiences or insights you'd like to offer, those are always appreciated. If you like these lit reviews, give me a thumbs up. That lets me know that you want to see more content like this. It motivates me to keep creating. If you think I saved you some money, you had these in your cart and you're taking them out and you want to pass any of those savings onto my channel, anything you provide through Super Thanks gets directly invested into further purchases for future lit reviews. Those are always appreciated, but I never expect them and I certainly don't require them. I will continue to create content whether I get them or not. If you want to share my video with someone you think would enjoy it, that is greatly appreciated. And if you aren't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button before you take off. I will see you again in my next video. Until then, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.